Baby, these are just the games that we play. But you know I always do.
I can't get enough for your loving. Too much could never be enough. Never enough, never enough. You know that I can't get enough for your loving. Too much could never be enough. Never enough, never enough, baby. So it feels so good. It feels so good, baby. Don't stop it now, 'cause it feels so right. Feels so right. Need your loving, girl, more than noon and night. More than noon and night. Never enough. Never enough of your love. Don't stop it now, 'cause it feels so right. It feels so good. Need your loving, girl, more than noon and night. Never enough. Never enough. Baby, just keep it coming. Always keep it coming. Don't stop it now, 'cause it feels so right. Feels so right. Need your loving, girl, more than noon and night. More than noon and night. Never enough. Never enough of your love. Don't stop it now, 'cause it feels so right. Feels so right. Need your loving, girl, more than noon and night. More than noon and night.
I know a place
I know a place
where life is good.
where life is good.
A brand new place
A brand new place.
in your neighborhood.
Your neighborhood.
Come to my place.
Where dreams come true.
My saving place can save a lot of dollars for you.
My saving place. Kmart
Kmart,
is your saving.
yes it is.
You need value face to face.
Every day.
Kmart
Kmart,
sells great merchandise.
you're gonna get value at a low, low price. Here at my place, you know you're gonna get more.
Get more.
My saving place has got a lot of value in store.
Saving place. Kmart
Kmart,
is your saving.
sing it for me, children.
The new Solon Kmart will celebrate its grand opening starting Thursday. Hundreds of grand opening specials await you at this and all Cleveland.
What's good, everyone? Right now I'm out here in North Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm at a place where life was good. A not so brand new place in a decently far away neighborhood. This isn't really my place, but it's where dreams, they came true. And my savings place can save a lot of dollars for you. Now, if you didn't recognize that jingle, I'm at an abandoned Kmart, technically. Now, this hasn't been a Kmart store for a long time. This one closed in the 90s, and I want to say that it relocated to a super center that's further up Rivers Avenue this way. It makes sense because that one, I want to say, opened in the 90s and closed in 2016. So I believe that this either relocated or just closed for that one to open up there. But this is the only Kmart in this area that looks like a Kmart. The other ones have been redeveloped or demolished entirely. And I'm telling you, man, I've been wanting to film this one for a while. This is a 70s build Kmart, very vintage, and I can't wait to show you all this gem. So, with that said, let's go. All right, old school 70s vintage abandoned Kmart. If you're not familiar with retail or, Kmart in itself, this was a 70s one, but it doesn't take much to see that this was clearly a Kmart. That facade was iconic for Kmart throughout the 70s, 80s, some in the 90s, some that even closed recently looked just like this. But this one is pretty old, and I say that because if you look on this side here, where the CSL Plasma is, and you can see how the little awning here is kind of continued on the same theme that this has, that's because I am willing to bet that this was an old Kmart Foods back in the day. I have a feeling that this entire building was built as a Kmart in the 70s. This side was the garden shop side, the whole store in the middle, and then this was the Kmart Foods side that a lot of 70s Kmarts had. Now, they discontinued the K Foods platform sometime maybe in the 70s or 80s, I'm not sure exactly, but I'd be willing to bet that that is what was in there at some point in time. But this is the beauty of the hour here. I love this design that Kmart had. This is one of my favorite ones outside of the 90s one that looks like the Mableton GA store that I did. I love that design. That's probably my favorite, but this one's a close second. I just love how this looks. It screams old school Kmart. And although it's pretty dated, if you made it work, I'm sure it could be successful if they kept up with it. But of course, we all know that that didn't happen. But as of right here from where I'm standing, right here is where there's a cord, like a wire sticking out, and there's bolt holes. I bet you that this was one of the stores that had the italicized red K and that turquoise Mart in it on this facade. I 100% am sure about that, because this wasn't open long enough to become a big Kmart. And I see that, and there's a couple more here. I bet you that this had that wonderful vintage logo on it so long ago. Now, I will say that there's not a lot to see in here because this actually hasn't been a Kmart, like I said, for a long time. And this actual building here, all the way down there, was been used as some kind of VA tech facility or something like that that was really secure. So that's why I'm really pumped to be filming this, because I never had the chance before. Apologies for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna show anyone's faces or anything. Dumpster in there, I'm not really sure what that's for. But I'm coming to this side first because I was here the other day late at night, so you couldn't see in here. But feast your eyes on this. So I'm not sure what was in here. It looks very old and falling apart in there. But you can see at the very top those old school big vents, clearly evident of a Kmart. So this was subdivided into something else, not entirely sure. There was something else here, not sure what that is. And then over here is where the K Foods part would have been, because remember when this was Kmart, all of this was one whole thing. You can see the old school drop ceiling and those lights up there. LEDs? Nah. And then to the right here is where the CSL Plasma is. You can see insulations falling down. All of this coming apart. But I love that we get to see inside of here, because I've never seen inside of this building. And then this, I think, was original to Kmart here, this pad here, and then this was an automatic door for you to be able to go inside. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this was how the Kmart was. I think that this was redeveloped and repurposed as something else. Man, that pole is hurting in there, man. That is rough. You can see how there's like crap falling down. Yeah, this is in some rough shape, dude. But old school Kmart. So I'm glad we got to see in here, man. I've been wanting to see inside of this place for a long time, and we finally got the chance to do it. I'm gonna take a look right in this side here really quick so that we can see very 90s-esque with those decals on the wall. So this is probably about as close to a vintage Kmart I'm going to have the chance to look into, at least in this area anyway, because the rest of the Kmarts around the Charleston area have just been redeveloped or, you know, demolished in some way, shape, or form. That's really disgusting, whatever that is. But they've all been, you know, taken away. The one in the West Ashley store, the one that's off of Savannah Highway, That one is now the largest auto mechanic repair shop in the area. They took that entire store and made it into the Hendrick Automotive Repair Shop. The one in Somerville that was close to me, that one, and these I think were for the place that was here after Kmart. I don't think this was originally Kmart here. But the one in Somerville was turned into Stars and Strikes and Crunch Fitness. And while I'm here, actually, you can see all these markings on the ground there. All these. And you can see more markings. I'm not sure if this was from the fencing that was here for the place that occupied down there, or if this was original to when Kmart was here. And since I'm right here, actually, you can kind of see the contrast to where the automatic doors were in the entrance for when this was a Kmart, because like I said, this was never a big Kmart. And what that means is, this being a 70s era store, you would have been able to come in right here, there's the ramp, and then there would have been an entrance right in the middle under where the sign was. So there was an entrance here, and I believe that there was another one right there, as you can see. So, I'm telling you, man, that's the thing I love about filming these places, is that they can be changed, they can be modified, but some things, especially about these Kmarts, will just never change. And I love that. I love that so much. But yeah, it's continuing with the Charleston area Kmarts. Where's another one at? Mount Pleasant. That one is now Nordstrom Rack, subdivided into a few other stores. And it actually still pops up on Apple and Google Maps as Nordstrom Rack Kmart Center, which I love seeing that. That to me is just great. Because even though it's long gone, and you look at it, and unless you're a guru like me or a retail nerd, you know, the brickwork gives it away, and a lot of Kmarts that they redeveloped still have this amazing brickwork. And actually, I'm going to point out over here, you can see the Payless Shoe Stores, which is an operating business. They just never took down the old school letters there. But this white building here is the old VA hospital, and this is off Rivers Avenue, if you can tell by the sign right there that says Rivers Ave. But North Charleston used to be really booming. It really did. And unfortunately, the area has fallen off a little bit. And I'm not saying that to be offensive to anyone, but it happens, you know, and that's why there's people in positions to bring it back up. And I hope that's what happens, because this area deserves it, in my opinion. I don't like seeing people struggling, so. But here would have been the garden shop side of the store. I don't know what this was, but you can see where the automatic doors were at one point in time, and they just cut that off to put these doors into here. You can see no weapons and firearms allowed, so this was definitely a legitimate secure property. You can see all these cameras up here. These weren't Kmart. These were put in here, whatever was using it after the store was gone. But look at that. 70s all day. So you can see here, this is Suite 2. This is whatever was here after Kmart was gone. But I think that this may have been added into the place that used it. But this may have been original to the store. Maybe. I'm not sure. I never saw this one in operation, but this was definitely a secure place. This is for badges, and this is a camera, so this was definitely a legit freaking no BS, no, like, all business place right here after, you know, after Kmart was gone. But this is why I said this is a 70s store, and I say that because, as you can see, right here is where the store was. You got your long alley and awning and stuff down here. But I love that, looking at this place now and knowing what I know about Kmart buildings, this was most likely the auto center, and that was the garden shop. I believe this one was built with an auto center. I know when they updated the big Kmart, these became Penske auto centers, but I don't know that this one ever had that. But that looks like it would have been a garage door for an auto center. And there probably was one in each of these spots right here, because I've seen some Kmarts and they still have lights just like this right above the auto center. Now, I don't know if these were original to the store, but there's actually old paint under that tells me that maybe the original lights were in that spot at one point in time. So, man, history is always revealing, man. But this was parking in, I guess, for vehicles and stuff, because I don't know if you all remember, but in the summer of 2020, if you've been following me for that long, I went to the Greenbrier Mall in Atlanta, Georgia, and a few miles down the road, there was an old Kmart that became a discount mall. I can't reach this. I really wish that I could, but I'm sorry, guys, I can't. I'm too short. I'm not tall enough to reach up there, so I can't see in there. But continuing on with what I was saying, there was an old Kmart called Discount Mall that they added in, and this was built, it was built exactly like this one, but mirrored. The old auto center and the garden shop was on that side, and the grocery part, the old K Foods, is on this side for that store. But otherwise, they're identical. They're just mirrored. And that's what told me that this part was most likely an auto center, because when I first came here, I thought that this was a garden shop, and they just, like, developed it into this parking lot for whatever was in here after Kmart, and they left this, which is the actual garden shop here, untouched. But that's not what happened. This was built like this. This whole part here is probably original to the store. Now, this fencing with the barbed wire on it isn't. It's not that serious. I mean, dadgum, if I wanted some plants, I'm not getting sliced by that stuff to get it. Dadgum. But this is original to Kmart, and you guys don't know how much I want to go in here and see if it's still Kmart. But unfortunately, I can't do that because I can't reach the top there. But this, I strongly believe, was not modified by whoever was in here using this building. I feel like this is left how Kmart had it, but I could be wrong. But I just love the architecture on these buildings, on these old school 70s Kmarts. I love it, and I always will. So this was your old school garden center. This was definitely where the automatic doors were, and whoever was in here modified it to become this like barn door style where you slide it open and slide it back. So maybe they were using this, but that was clearly where the automatic doors would open for when this was Kmart here. And in all senses of the word there, this has kind of become a garden shop again. You just can't buy any plants out of here anymore. And you can only get a bunch of crap and weeds and stuff. So that's kind of unfortunate, but, you know. But, yep, clearly a Kmart. Clearly a Kmart. So, okay, that bird flew by. That's nice. So, whatever this was, it's called CMOP. CMOP shipping dock is what this was. Now, I'm not going to touch any doors. This place clearly was very secure, and they basically operated off of, if you're not authorized to be here, you don't belong, so I'm not going to mess with anything. This looks like it was a top-notch, freaking legitimate place, but I'm just here to shine light on what it was, and what it was a Kmart. So you can see, here's the back of it. This isn't really all anything like too special. Most people didn't see the backs of these anyway. It's pretty much the same as any typical Kmart would be, other than this stuff. This stuff was put in, but there's a gym back here, an old school sign that this was a Kmart, and I'm going to show it to you as soon as we get there. All this crap with the diesel fuel and stuff, they were really doing some crazy stuff in here, whatever it was. I don't know what CMOP is, but clearly it was some intense things. But if you look through here, you can see right there was I don't know, but I feel that when this was Kmart, that was where the compactor was hooked up, and on that like block of concrete there was the like base for it or something. I'm not sure, but I definitely feel like this was where the compactor was for when this was Kmart. I had that feeling that that's what that was. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling. And then there's whatever else was back here, another part. Maybe that wasn't for an automatic door that I said. Maybe that was just an awning to prevent it from getting rained on. Not sure, but whatever CMOP was here for a long time. And we're coming on the CSL Plasma site here. I don't know if this area was original or if this was added. Maybe it was, because there's loading docks here. I feel like it might have been original, but it just isn't in the same. It looks like tin. You know, it looks like that like aluminum material, and this is brick. That's why I said that. But maybe it was original. Old school Kmart loading docks. Now we're on the CSL Plasma site here, so I'm not gonna record anyone on here if there's someone back here, but I just want to show that side of where the Kmart grocery and Kmart Foods was, if we can get there. Yep, there is a person. So now I did point out here that this up here, I feel like was the satellite dish for when this was Kmart. I strongly feel that that's what that was. The CSL Plasma is like I don't know how it works. I think it's a blood donation spot or something like that, or a health thing, and I'm not gonna mess with that, so I won't go any further than that. That is about to be, we're gonna wrap up here in a second, but I hope you all did enjoy the look at this old 70s Kmart. Even though it's been modified and changed into this warehouse, like, intense facility. I don't know what they were doing in here, but clearly this was a Kmart, so, and that's what I love. So all these years ago, this was a store. All these years ago, maybe 40 years ago, this would have been getting ready for the holiday season, and now it just sits vacant and gone, and whatever they were doing in here is the last bit of life that this place had. Now, you cannot see on camera, I don't believe, but when I was here yesterday night, there were lights on in that area, so you could actually see that there were lights on. You can't tell now, obviously, but you could tell yesterday night. I'll have to add a picture in for you all. I was here, like I said, I was here yesterday night and filmed it, but I just wasn't happy with not being able to see inside and it getting dark and stuff. But clearly a Kmart. I mean, you can see by the lights designed like that this was a Kmart store. I'm just fascinated, man. Like, if you guys can't tell, I'm a big Kmart fan. I love how these look. And you can see all the way down there. I've always wanted to do this at this kind of design. I've never filmed a store that was built like this. So this is my time to do that. But I'm just I'm a big fan of these, man, and I really hope to film more at some point down the line, you know. But that is that. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the parking lot here because there really isn't anything to see. There's no point in going back down in front of the doors because we can't see in those doors. And I'm not gonna go by the CSL Plasma anymore because there are people that are going in there. So we saw as much as we could see, but backing up here, you can clearly see old school Kmart sitting and awaiting whatever it will become next. Alrighty, everyone, that's gonna wrap it up for me out here at this abandoned Kmart slash CMOP facility or whatever else this was. It'll always be a Kmart to me. Sorry that we couldn't see much other than in that little spot right down by the CSL Plasma. That's right there. Old K Foods. Thank you, train. Old K Foods. But I love this, man. Like, I've wanted to film this place ever since I saw it, and it just screams vintage Kmart. So while it may not have many things Kmart themed in it anymore because it's been in this secure facility for a while, I love it. And I hope that this can get turned back into something that people can use and work at. If it were up to me, a store, but probably not. But hopefully it can provide jobs and continue to serve the community like it did as a Kmart for many years. So, until next time, hope you all did enjoy. And in honor of Kmart, live, love, laugh. Make the best of your every moment, and I hope you all did enjoy. Thank you for choosing Zee Mann. And from this old school Kmart, I'll see you later, old friend. Peace.
Noon and night.